The Congress party has received yet another notice from the Income Tax Department. This time, the demand amounts to rupees 1,744 crore rupees. Well, this is the fourth notice by the IT department, and it pertains to penalties and interest accrued between 2014 and 2017. This notice has been issued merely a day after the IT asked the Congress to pay rupees 1,823 crores in penalties levied over 5 financial years. The Congress is now facing a crunch in funds ahead of the polls, as its accounts have been frozen since last month. Meanwhile, the Congress leaders have mounted an attack against the BJP, claiming that the ruling party is engaging in tax terrorism. The Grand Old Party alleges that the centre is misusing agencies to cripple the Congress financially. It has raked up the issue of electoral bonds in retaliation and states that the IT department should demand rupees 4,600 crores from the BJP as well. The bonds versus the taxes is the big war that is escalating, and the Congress party is facing a cumulative demand of 3,567 crores by the Income Tax Department. From the courts to the streets, an all-out war is on. Amidst all of this, we ask, will the Netas, follow the code of the code that, of course, warrants them to not cross a certain line? That is the big question that we are going to be asking of our guest as well. Joining us on the show at this point in time is Mr. Sumit Peer, political analyst. Mr. Yogendra Kapoor, senior economist and tax expert, also joins us on the show. Dr. GVR Shastri, senior political analyst, will be with us momentarily. Sumit, I'll begin with you. Well, the Congress says that this is all intentional. There is no lack of compliance. These, impropriety that they have been accused of by the IT department happened a few years ago. Then why the timing so close to the Lok Sabha elections?
Vinny, thanks for having me on your show. In fact, Congress should be celebrating it. Congress was saying that electoral bonds is the biggest scam of Modi, though they have got the highest number of electoral bonds after BJP. They were for all transparency. They were all for clarity. They wanted the rule of the law to prevail. They wanted the law. They wanted the Supreme Court. They wanted everything in this country to work impeccably. If that has happened, if income tax is asking them for, let's say, what the logic is, income tax will send you a notice, okay, this is a tax on you. You have the onus to go and prove your case. It is not that, whatever the demand of income tax is, कि भाई ये पैसा भरना ही है. You have to go, you have to present your case, and if the case is good, it will be there. If the case is not good, it will be waived off. So why is Congress talking about paranoia? Where has Congress got all the money? In fact, I have been questioning on NewsX. For last 65 years, where did Congress get all the money? Don't tell me they were karyakartas giving chanda of 5 rupees, 10 rupees, they fought the elections. When they were celebrating electoral bonds, when they were celebrating the transparency in the electoral system of India, my question is, sir, why are they crying, foul now? If the income tax of the department has asked you certain questions, send you certain notices, if your funding is legitimate, if your sources are known, if you have nothing to hide, which you claim obviously have nothing to hide, why don't you go down and give them all the replies? What is stopping Congress? Why are they casting aspersions on BJP and the system of the India? Same Congress, same Vineet, your show NewsX, we had a Congress representative who was saying, "Arey, Supreme Court is very good. Suddenly all good." I told him, wait for 10 days. You will say the system is corrupt. You will say the courts are corrupt. You will say everything in India is compromised. Har koi Modi se direction leta. This is what he will say. And today exactly, after 10 days, they are exactly saying the same thing. You are sent a notice, sir, Mr. Congress, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji, why don't you reply to a notice? You are most competent lawyers. You're the most eminent lawyers in your Congress. Why can't they make a reply? Bhai, aapne ye notice manga, assessment is this is what our income is, this is what my expenses are, this is where the money came from. Unless and until you have something to hide, why are you hiding? That is the question we want to ask. Where is the paranoia? Where is the problem we need? The paranoia and the problem is that the skeletons will start coming out of the cupboard, and that is where the paranoia is. Now, the easiest thing to do is cast aspersions on Prime Minister Modi, cast aspersions on the system and say it's all system is corrupted because it's used against it. Why can't you reply a simple notice? Even if you get a demand doesn't mean you have to pay money tomorrow. You have to reply to a notice. If after the due diligence, whatever the demand might be taken out, fully, partially, or even completely withdrawn. I'm talking about the law. So there's a provision within the law wherein even the demand can be fully withdrawn. So if that is the case, why are you so worried? You should just answer the notices. Forget the amount what is there. We have seen the Vodafone case. We have seen so many cases where the demands were in thousands of crores and they got withdrawn. There were a lot of cases where people go and win. Why are you afraid to face the law? Why are you afraid to give a reply to a notice? That is the question which should be asked to Kharge ji and Shriman Rahul Gandhi ji. Vineet.
Okay. Let me also, in fact, bring in Mr. Yogendra Kapoor, senior economist and tax expert, into this conversation. Sulaiman Muhammad Khan, Congress spokesperson, also joins us on the show. Mr. Kapoor, you being a senior economist and a tax expert, how do you look at this situation? Can you look at it very objectively? Because today is the 31st of March, and obviously, financial obligations have to be met, compliances have to be closed in time. Does this necessarily translate into any kind of targeting on behalf of the Income Tax Department?
Right, Vinith. First thing I'd like to say is that the Income Tax Department is well within its rights to take the punitive action in terms of asking for the recovery of the demands. I definitely also agree that the question of timing is certainly of essence, because you see, these are not demands which have got created in last 1 year or last 2 years. These pertain to, I would say, it goes back to 30 years altogether. In terms of altogether, there are 3 cases against the Congress party, and the IT department always had good enough time to take punitive action, as well as they are well within their rights to even attach the bank accounts. In say a period of 2 years from the time the assessment takes place, because that is what they generally do if they are proceeding against any individual or any other corporate. So right now, I see that since the elections are around the corner, this will certainly deem as if this action is motivated not only politically but also financially to cripple the Congress party. So I think it's for the IT department to explain that why they have taken this much time to go in for recoveries against the Congress party. And on the other side, to say that the demands are incorrect, I think that will be absolutely absurd argument on the part of the Congress party, because all these matters are already pending right up to the apex court, and the hearings are taking place, and the next hearing is scheduled for tomorrow as well. So the point is that Congress party also had good enough time to take any relief, if at all they would have liked to, from higher courts also, as well as from the IT department also. They are well within their rights to ask for time to make the payments in installments, which they have not done. So I think it's a matter which needs to be understood objectively by both the IT department also and the Congress party, that ultimately there are time frames which are time to be need to be adhered to, and that's what is taking place.
Okay. Mr. Jivya Shastri, what's your opinion of what's going on over here? Does the Congress party, deserve to be called a victim here?
Say, democracy, the party doesn't have any value. Democracy means people. People have a value. Party may go, a party may exist, may not exist. In our constitution, it never ever written that only parties should participate in election. Independent candidate can also participate in election. All 544 independents can win the election. They can form the government. It is the responsibility, liability and commitment of the particular party to ensure that their accounts are clear and crystal clear. And they are responsible towards the people. Forget about Income Tax Department. Whether Income Tax Department approach you or not, whether Income Tax Department give a notice you or not, as a party registered under, there is a certain clauses, certain terms and conditions very clearly there, and that is signed by from you onwards. What is the terms and conditions you said, laid out? You have clearly signed, you have to follow the rules as a citizens. First, you all are citizens. Whether Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi or Mallikarjun Kharge, you need to respect your own laws. Organization doesn't have any specific privileges in this country. Congress party doesn't have any special privileges in this nation. Party means it is It is fight for the development and upliftment of the people. If party means it is upliftment of all sections of the society. What do you want? What do you want to say that income tax department wrong, customs department, this department is, what is meaning of wrong? Why you allowed fingers to raise? Why you have not that kind of due diligence? Fingers should not rise against you. You never did it. You have taken law, it's in your hands. You can put your own finance ministers, you can put your own things, and it is only a cumulative figures are appearing in front of you. You are all responsible and accountable, and you are punishable for it. And today you are playing a victim card. What nonsense it is. What kind of narration that you want to give it to the people of the nation? That we can't even hold our income tax act, we can't hold our records in proper, inaccurate, and we can't record the statements, we can't record the receipts and payments and income and expenditure, liabilities and assets. All 6 items we can't handle, and we can run the story of the nation. There are 6 items, Mr. Vijay. 6 items. Assets, liabilities, income, expenditure, revenue and loss. Nothing else. And you can't put the 6 items in front of you. You need thousands of years. And every individual has to file the income tax return and within the stipulated time. What kind of special privilege you are claiming and what basis you are claiming and what kind of constitutional right you have to ask this kind of privilege? Shame on this Congress people. Do you think that it is for intellectual like us? What nonsense it is?
Okay. Let's get a response from Suleiman Mohammed Khan as well. Suleimana, I hope you can hear me. Suleiman?
Yeah.
Right. Suleiman, you've been listening to everyone very patiently. How would you respond to what Sumit has said, what Dr. Shastri have also said? I also see that you've taken down some points. Most of these gentlemen preceding you have said that this is a matter that the Congress could have solved on their own. This was on their own hands and they're pinning it as political vendetta. They're playing the victim card now.
Now, Vineet, just before I can start, I was spokesperson of the Congress party appointed in January of 2014, just before the Lok Sabha election. The Congress government was there. I remember very well, there were 4 months for election, and because there were several allegations against our party and there was a full throttle BJP campaign going on, it was very difficult for us at that time, a hard job for 4 months to defend the Congress party. I honestly tell you on your channel. But after 10 years, and all the journalists TV people were against us, the whole atmosphere was against the Congress party, and we had to do all the explanation all the time. Now, after 10 years and full 10 years given to this government, majority government, all promises failed, manifesto completely, he has failed to deliver on the manifesto, and the promises he has done, Mr. Modi has done, have completely turned out to be lies. Now, whenever for past 1.5 months, 2 months or 3 months, because the election campaign is now heating up, I've been sitting on channels and I'm seeing these neutral panelists and other people. I have full respect for their opinion. I'm not saying that they cannot say that, whatever they are saying. They have all right. But we are the opposition party for 10 years. Now, everyone should question the government for what they have done in 10 years. This is what the democracy is. If Congress party committed mistake, we were voted out in 14. Then Modi ji said in 2019, give me 5 more years. People of India gave him 5 more years. Now he has failed completely. Now still people are questioning Congress party. This is one very important aspect which everyone has to think over, every Indian. Now coming to the tax terrorism debate. Now we have received one more notice of 1700 crore, now totaling of the total tax evasion notice alleged, what the income tax department says 3500 crores. Now, there are 2-3 very basic points I want to make to reply to the gentlemen who have very passionately argued the case of the BJP against the Congress party. I have no issues with that. Now, the first point is, now in the atmosphere which is, right now prevailing in the current democratic electoral system, is this a level playing field? The principal opposition party, just before the election, after the imposition of the model code of conduct, when we have to, go in the campaign trail with full of energy and full throttle we have to go for the campaign. We have been sent income tax evasion notices which are completely false and will not hold the scrutiny of law. I can say it for sure. And our accounts have been frozen. 135 crores have been taken away from our account, or they have been seized for alleged violation of 14 lakh rupees. Now, let me tell you why this 135 crores have been seized. For financial year 17 and 18, there was violation as per the notice, not our admission.
Sorry.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Mr. Shastri, let him finish.
I request.
Mr. Shastri, please don't interrupt. He did not interrupt. Suleiman, I'm speaking for you. Mr. Shastri, I won't allow anybody to interrupt. Let him finish his point. He heard everybody out patiently.
Now, Vineet, for 17 and 18, there are allegations of violation of income tax to the tune of 14 lakh rupees that we have not submitted the detail. We gave the details. There were 23 MPs and MLAs of the Congress party who have donated. We have given all the details, PAN numbers, etc. Because as per Section 29C of the Representations of the People Act, the treasurer of a political party has to give the details of all the donors who have donated for the political party. We gave it for 14 lakh. Still, a penalty of 135 crore has been taken away from us. Seized, frozen. We have taken the accounts of the BJP for 7 years. We have just taken financial year 17 and 18, which they have submitted to the Election Commission. The Bharatiya Janta Party has submitted on the Election Commission's website, which is posted on the Election Commission's website. Now, for 2 years, 17 and 18, BJP has been donated 42 crores of rupees by 1,297 donors, no details. 92 people didn't have a name, no address, no father's name. And the remaining just have a name, Ramesh, Suresh, etc. No address, nothing. Now 1,297 people have given 42 crores, no details. Income tax has given no notice. We have analyzed and calculated the penalty, the same parameter which they have applied to the Congress party. If they apply to the BJP, then the BJP has to, there is a violation of 4,600 crores tax violation. The income tax department, if it is fair, it should send a notice of violation of 4,600 crores to the Bharatiya Janta Party. It is not sending. We have done a press conference. We have placed all the facts before the media, and I am again placing through your channel to the before the people of the country. If you are sending notices for 14 lakh, now BJP has done violation of 42 crore, and that goes to the penalty, etc. 4,600 crores. Is this a level playing field?
Not
or
at all.
Income tax department has completely surrendered before the Bharatiya Janta Party, or it has become a frontal organization of the Bharatiya Janta Party? These are two very important questions. When in a democracy, there is no level playing field. It's not a democracy. It's a lie. It's a dictatorship. And I appeal to the people of the country, please vote this BJP out.
Okay.
Otherwise, by using these agencies, there will be no democracy left. It will be dictatorship, and people will have to suffer immensely, which they are already suffering. Because otherwise also Modi ji has not fulfilled any of his promises. And one last thing, Vineet, I just forgot. I'll just take 20 seconds. What BJP has done through electoral bonds, Supreme Court has exposed them. There are 4 modus operandi through which they have taken money, illegal money. Chanda do, dhanda lo, theka lo, chanda do, hafta vasuli, and through shell companies. These are 4 shameful acts corrupt BJP has done, which Supreme Court has exposed them.
All right. Okay. Sumit, how do you respond to the allegations made by Suleiman? And do you think that this can be considered a matter of just coincidence, Sumit, that the principal opposition in this country is facing this nightmare of frozen accounts right before the big elections?
Vineet ji, I request Sumit ji to say he's a BJP, at least he should say he's a BJP sympathizer, not a spokesperson.
He doesn't need to say that, Suleiman. He doesn't need to say that. Let's not focus on the identity. Let's focus on the opinion. All right. Let's focus on his opinion. Sumit, go on.
Vineet, Suleiman ji has put some very compelling points. Let me answer point by point. First of all, When you talk about that Modi ji has not delivered on anything, he has failed and all. So let the elections of 2024 come, and after elections, during the elections, we'll talk again and we'll know who has not delivered. This is what Congress has been saying for 10 years. And if you look at every state election, if you look at every election, and after election, Modi ji wins. And somehow, if he loses one Zilla Panchayat ka election, the opposition parties go and write the political arbitrary of BJP and Prime Minister Modi. But that doesn't really come true. But they have to try harder. That's the point number one. Let the Janta Janardhan decide if he has delivered or if he has not delivered. If you are not so rattled and hassled, you should not bother. If Modi ji has not done anything, you should be the happiest person. You are going to be the Prime Minister anyway. I mean, Rahul Gandhi ji is the most compelling candidate in the whole opposition. That I will admit. There's nobody else than Rahul Gandhi ji. So then you should be very happy about it. That's point number one. Point number two, we need about this. I am talking of Congress. Congress, 65 years in power. Congress had the biggest finance ministers, had the legal luminaries, biggest lawyers. Mr. P. Chidambaram and all the people who have run the finances of the country. Now you are telling me you have run the finances of the country, you have set a lot of things in the motion, you have the biggest lawyers, you have the biggest economists and including Mr. Raghuram Ranjan, who was a great Congress sympathizer, allegedly sympathizer. Now you could not file a tax return, you don't know how to file a tax return. Your lawyers can go and bail out corporates of thousands of crores of tax evasions or tax notices. You are not able to go and bail out your Congress for that. That is point number one. Point number two, whenever you get a notice, it does not you have to deposit the money also. You have to reply to that notice. If after the due diligence, if it is deemed that you have to pay, let's say 1400 crores or 4 crores, or it can be zero. I mean, there are cases where it can be zero. So how is BJP has alleged that you have to reply the notices and tell them what you have done? Point number three, if you think BJP has done some gross irregulations and BJP has really went overboard, then you should launch a case immediately tomorrow morning in Supreme Court. Maybe Suleiman ji can also do it in Supreme Court and say, bhai, this is what the BJP has done. Kindly, and I'm sure the Honorable Chief Justice of India will give you a very immediate hearing, because if you're saying this is the allegation of the BJP, why don't you call BJP and question them what they have done? So you are not doing that. You are only doing the media conferences. Last point I want to make is, with all these things going on here and there, with all the things going on, the question is, why is Congress such a messed up house? You are in the power, you have all the things. Why can't you comply the basic things? Why such notices were not sent to other political parties? Why only to Congress? Because there's a chance when they were asked to deposit a money, I think some I can't remember the amount, 95 lakhs or all, they did not bother to deposit. They don't even bother to respond to the Income Tax Department. Are you telling on national TV, Suleiman ji, that the Income Tax Department of India, the ED of India, the CBI of India, the Supreme Court of India, everybody takes instructions from Prime Minister Modi? If this is the case, you should clearly say that they all take instructions from Modi and Amit Shah, and they take them in the morning, their bosses go, they take their dictation, and based on that dictation, in the day, they go and execute their work. Then that should be a part of your manifesto. You should come openly and talk about it. How come the Supreme Court, when you talk about the electoral bonds, comes out very clean, and how does the same Supreme Court today is biased? How does the same constitution is good, and at this tomorrow it doesn't suit you, it is biased? The same ABM is good when you win Karnataka and Himachal. The same ABM is corrupted when you lose the election.
Okay.
These are
all right. Savio Rodriguez is also joining us. Savio, appreciate you being here at a short notice. Of course, the allegations of tax terrorism are once again back into the fray. The Congress is accusing that all of this is orchestrated. The agencies are nothing but rats, running to the tunes of Pied Piper. And what's happened to them is perhaps nothing short of exemplifying that if you mess with us, this is what we will do to you.
Well, I don't expect anything less to be commented by the Congress, because that is Congress' inherent nature, to cry wolf and to play a victim, when quite simply any tax liability, any tax that is due, whether you are a political party, whether you are a company, or whether you are an individual, needs to be clear. Now, let's assume for a moment that everything they are alleging is what BJP is doing as far as investigative authorities are concerned, tax authorities are concerned. Let's assume for a moment that whatever they are alleging is true. Would there ever have been a possibility for them to find fault with the Congress if they had not had the tax liability? So the genesis of the problem is that Congress party, which is the oldest political party in India, chooses to be a tax defaulter, thereby opening a door for, according to them, by BJP to utilize the tax department or in various other allegations that they make for ED and CBI. But the fault starts with them. You have chosen not to pay your taxes. You have been given repeated reminders, but you've chosen not to pay your taxes. When you've come back and you pay the tax and you've even decided to pay on your interest, you do not even comply to that. So obviously the tax authorities are going to treat you in the manner in which you behave. So you might think that the BJP is doing it as political vendetta or as trying to crush you. But that's your la-la land that you're living in if you would have not had the tax liability in the first place. Why did you have it? What makes a political party or a politician different from a common citizen? Today, if we don't pay our taxes, we are given notices and we comply with that notices because we are tax-paying citizens. What has stopped Congress from doing that? That's the real question the people of India should ask. Let's assume being political party, BJP is doing what it's supposed to do to crush them. Why did Congress not pay its tax?
Let's get a response from Suleiman as well, and then we'll get a response from Dr. Shastri as well. Suleiman, quickly, we've run out of time. You have half a minute.
The BJP spokesperson must know what are the facts. These are violation of not submitting the details as per 29C of the Representations of People's Act. And BJP has done it in 17 and 18. And for that, if income tax do the same as it has done with the Congress party, BJP, there is a violation of 4,600 crore. And that liability falls on the BJP. But the income tax department is not doing so because, Sumit ji, these agencies, income tax, ED, CBI, are working as a frontal organizations of the BJP. See, all serving chief ministers have been jailed. All opposition parties members have been served notices. They were forced to join the BJP. This is what has been happening. And otherwise, BJP is very clean. Yesterday, a sitting Supreme Court judge, Mr. Nagarathna, has spoken in a program, and she is also a minority judgment writer, where she has said that demonetization was a means to convert black money into white money, and electoral bonds is also the same. And I have told you these two things, demonetization and electoral bonds.
Okay, let Mr. Shastri come in now. We've run out of time. Mr. Shastri, go on. Last comment to you, then we wrap up.
1 minute. The problem is here.
Mr. Shastri, you should at least allow the other person to complete. You are no boss here. I was speaking in bit. You are speaking in
between. Okay, Suleiman, we also have a paucity of time. Suleiman, apologies. Suleiman, apologies. We have a paucity of time, so that's why let's accommodate his points, and then we have to wrap up as is. Mr. Shastri, 15 seconds.
Yeah, see, I must tell you.
I want to question him. What does it say on electoral bonds and demonetization?
He's responding to your allegations.
Who drafted? We can't even, 60, 70 years you ruled the country. You can't even draft a income tax act. You can't draft a ED act. You can't draft a special police force act of the CBI. It's a useless governance. Income tax act, who has written? What is meaning of income tax? Income, there is no income. The original word income doesn't exist as far as the people of this nation is concerned. You made such a nonsense act, utilizing and misusing the parliament, and today you can, as per your convenience, you are talking and blaming only BJP running the story. Last 10 years BJP. Modi is only last 10 years. It hardly matters.
All right.
But you are, how many years you are? Income tax act, income, what is meaning of income? You don't even know the difference between income and revenue.
All right. Okay, we've run out of time. We would love to accommodate more reactions and thoughts on this ongoing matter between the Congress party and the income tax department, not the BJP, but we have run out of time.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.